Okay. Okay. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Board of Ed to order. Welcome, everyone, to the September 15th board meeting. Roll call, Mrs. Slunt, please.
Dr. Cordolino?
Here.
Mr. Daughtry?
Here.
Mrs. Spano?
Here.
Dr. Modrak?
Here.
Mr. O'Brien?
Here.
Mr. Rappaport?
Here.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Here.
Mr. Palma?
Here.
Mr. Brow?
Here.
Mr. Joe? Mr. Rossnell? Miss. Oh, Miss, I apologize.
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunshine Law, Mrs. Slunt, please.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Montville Township Board of Education provided a public notice of this meeting, which included the time, date, and location that was posted at the Montville Township Municipal Building, all Montville Public Schools, the Montville Public Library, the Montville Township Board of Education Administrative Office Building, the district website, and advertised in the Daily Record, the board's official newspaper, on July 23rd, 2020.
Thank you, Katine. We have two newly appointed board members, student reps rather, representative to the board. I see one of their faces up there. I assume that's Elliot.
Yeah, hello.
Is that you, Elliot?
Hey, Elliot.
Hi.
Elliot, welcome. I mean, glad to have you with us.
Natalie's down
Natalie's
the
also
bottom.
here.
And Natalie's down on the bottom. Hi, Natalie. Glad to have you with us. Congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you at our meetings. And we look for great things from you guys. First thing we're going to do is I want you to get rid of this virus stuff. Okay, so we can go back to normal. Did you guys handle that?
Of course.
No? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you. If you have any questions about what's happening, feel free to call Dr. Rovtar. She'll bring you up to date. And it's so great to have you here. Do you have any comments you'd like to make at this time, or you want to wait till the next meeting?
We have a report.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a report. Great. Go ahead, El.
So I'm going to start. I'm Natalie Rossnell, the Student Activities Council President.
And
For past athletics, that's where we're going to start. The sports no contact period was from August 31st through September 14th. And the official preseason for soccer, cross country, field hockey, and tennis started on Monday, September 14th, while football was able to start on Friday, September 11th for heat acclimation. And girls volleyball was moved to a new early spring season, which will start on February 16th. For future athletics, the girls tennis season will start on September 28th, while cross country, field hockey, and boys and girls soccer regular season will start on October 1st. And football's first game will be on October 2nd, home versus Morris Hills. And for the boys soccer team, who posted a 20-3-1 season last year, seniors Alex Brinchka and Colin Hennigan were named in the top 40 defenders in New Jersey, while junior Max Komodin was named a top 40 midfielders for New Jersey. And the team was also named the favorite for the Group 3 state title. And now Elliot's going to move on to school news.
Hi, I'm Elliot. I'm the senior class president this year. And in terms of past news, congratulations to Mr. Blechko, who was chosen as Morris County Teacher of the Year. He teaches Holocaust and Genocide Studies in MTHS. A panel of educators will pick the State Teacher of the Year, which will be announced at the October meeting at the State Board of Education. MTHS seniors Theo Mahedin, Safi Patel, Victoria Way, and Andrew Shu are the 4 semifinalists in the 66th Annual National Merit Scholarship Program. Only 16 students were named nationally, so go Stanks. Last week was National Suicide Prevention Week. The school counselors at MTHS posted information and resources on Schoology for students. to be more informed about this topic in an effort to keep them safe. And in terms of future news for MTHS, the MTHS Department of School Counseling is hosting a virtual senior night Wednesday, September 16th at 7 p.m. via Google Meet. The student counselors will discuss completing the college application process and managing senior year. On Monday, September 15th, Mr. Sanford posted the MTHS hybrid reopening plan to Schoology. Based on that plan, MTHS administration is hosting an information session and Q&A on Zoom webinar on Wednesday, September 16th at 6:30 p.m. Mr. Sanford is aware that this is in conflict with the school counseling virtual senior night, so he rescheduled the presentation and Q&A for Thursday, September 17th at 6:30 p.m. Tentatively, there's a virtual club fair scheduled for Wednesday, September 23rd. More details will be released this week or on Monday. The club fair will likely take place from 11:55 to 1 on September 23rd. Lastly, MTHS Back to School Night will take place on Wednesday, September 23rd. Information should be released this week. This event will be a virtual event beginning with a general assembly at 7 p.m. hosted by Mr. Sanford himself. And again, more details will be released later this week. And that's all we have for today.
Thank you very much, Elliot. Any questions for our student reps? Great to have you with us, and thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Renee?
I just want to, there's an update to Elliot's report in terms of the MTHS hybrid session. Mr. Sanford did recognize that Thursday evening is our elementary back to school night, and some of the schools actually do start their programs at 6:30 p.m. So I'm not sure if the notification has gone out yet, but I believe the high school session is being moved up to 5 p.m. so that folks who do have students at the elementary and the high school level can participate in both. So, so that hybrid information Q&A session will be at 5 p.m. on Thursday. I did want to note that there is an addendum to the agenda this evening. The board reviewed and it is up for action. We have a number of extracurricular positions at the high school for which I am recommending that we appoint advisors. Those groups include the Drama Club, the Federal Reserve Challenge, the Film Club, the International Concerns Club, the Jazz Ensemble, the Literary Magazine, also known as Muse, the Make-A-Wish Club, and the PAL Club. So those additional appointments are on the agenda for board action this evening. As Elliot indicated, we do have our back to school nights coming up. The elementary back to school night is this coming Thursday, September 17th. The high school is the 23rd, and Lazar is on the 24th. So I hope all of those are going on in a virtual format. It's a little bit different, but I think it's always great for the parents to be able to see and hear a little bit from the teachers in terms of what their plans are for the year and, kind of put a face with a name. So I'm hoping that parents will take the opportunity to participate in those back to school nights. For the first time ever, parents may attend back to school night in their pajamas. So I welcome you to do that. So please participate. We also this evening are very excited, as Elliot also mentioned, to have, we mentioned it at our last meeting, to have Christopher Butchko have selected as the Morris County Teacher of the Year for the 2020-21 school year. Chris is with us in the waiting room. We will try to hunt him down and get him on screen. But we do, unfortunately, in normal times, we would have Chris here at the meeting with us. We do have a certificate for you, Chris, and I'm just going to turn things over to Mr. Grau if he wants to make some remarks.
Are you there, Chris?
He just raised his hand. I think CMB is Chris. But I'm not
It's what, Mark?
100% sure. 1 second.
Chris?
We're getting there.
Pardon?
We're getting there, I think. There you are. Hey, Chris.
Hi, how are
Welcome,
you?
Chris.
Good,
Took
good.
us a while to find you, but we found you.
Thanks.
Okay? On behalf of the Board of Education, we are so proud of having you as our teacher at the high school, and also congratulating you on being the Morris County Teacher of the Year, now thrown into the one for the state. And again, the achievements that you have accomplished in the 12 years, I believe you're in Montville.
My 13th
You're getting all kinds. Huh?
It's my
You're getting
13th
all
school year.
13, so you've been a complete 12. You've gotten more press than most people. Every time I pick up the paper, I read Teacher of the Year in Montville and so on and so forth. And it is well-deserved for everything that you have accomplished. And we do have a certificate under normal conditions, as Dr. Rothar mentioned. We would like to have you here, present this to you in person, but that isn't going to happen tonight. Maybe later on in the year, if things get better, we'll invite you back. But on behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to just read this Montville Township Certificate of Excellence. The certificate is presented to Christopher Buchko, recipient of the 2021 Morris County Teacher of the Year. We are proud of your service to the students of Montville Township High School and congratulate you on this well-deserved recognition. Signed, Charles Grau and Renee Rothar, and presented on behalf of the Board of Education. So, Chris, congratulations. I don't know if you'd like to say a few words, but we'll make sure the certificate gets to you. And we couldn't be more proud of you. But if you'd like to make a brief comment, we don't want you going into a half-hour dissertation. Yeah? Okay.
No problem. All I can say is, 12 years ago, I made the best decision of my life by applying for the job at Montville Township High School. I never could have imagined the heights that I have achieved in the past 12 school years at Montville. I've done things that I never, ever could have dreamed of before. And just when I thought I've reached the highest mountain, I find out there's yet another higher mountain I could climb and achieve that too. So it's been an amazing time. I can't imagine being anywhere else but Montville Township High School. And it's been just a wonderful journey for the past 12 years. And I just can't wait for 12 more of them. I never could have imagined that I would have been Teacher of the Year at Montville Township High School. And here I am being the county teacher, and who knows what's going to happen with the state next month. So I want to say thank you to everybody for believing in me. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to to have my students with me, and for me to learn along with my students from the classroom all the way over to Europe. It's just been a wonderful journey, and thank you very much.
You're quite welcome, and thank you so much for those kind words.
Thank you.
And we'll have you back hopefully in the spring when things get a little better.
I sure hope so too.
Thank you again, Chris.
Or in
Charlie?
November when you're the state teacher of the year.
I think that 3 of us were on the Board of Education that hired you, Chris. And I see one of my colleagues, Karen, was on the board. She'll speak in a moment, and Mike Palmer and myself. And who would have thought 12 years later that you'd be getting this award? But I think we made a great choice, and thank you. Karen, you had a comment?
Well, yeah, Chris, I'm so excited for you. You definitely deserve this. For those of you, just as background information, my son, Alex, who is a history buff, had Chris for the Holocaust and Genocide Studies class, which of course was right up Alex's wheelhouse. But, beyond Alex's innate love for history, Chris knew exactly how to bring the best out in Alex. I'm sure my son won't mind me saying that he was a challenging student, but Chris just, he just tapped into Alex's creativity and allowed Alex to engage in activities where he could really shine. And of course, the capstone of the class was the Holocaust trip, which was just an extraordinary experience. So Chris, I wish you the best of luck and hope that in October, the State Board of Education names you as the Teacher of the Year, because you so deserve it. And good luck
Thank
to you.
Thank you, Karen. Nobody else at this point? Renee?
That concludes my report for this evening.
Okay. Business Administrator's report, Mrs. Slunt?
As we approach the 21st, we are completing the remainder of the outstanding projects for the referendum, ESIP, and capital reserve projects. I would like to suggest that I will do a presentation on the 6th that will show the before and afters of those various projects so that you can see what has been accomplished throughout the summer. In addition to that, we will be summarizing some of the financial positions. Certainly the COVID expenses are ones that weigh heavy on us as we begin this school year. And so we will be looking at that on the 27th of October.
Thank you, Katim. Questions? All right, committee reports. Finance and Facilities, Karen?
No
Karen?
report, no report this time, but I believe Facilities and Finance will be meeting before our next board meeting on the 6th.
Okay. Curriculum and Instruction, Mike?
Yeah,
Palmer?
correct me if I'm wrong, Andrea. We're meeting on the 22nd, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
Just out of curiosity, did anybody else freeze for about 30 seconds there a few seconds ago? Or was it just me?
It's you.
What did you say?
Did anybody else freeze?
No, just you, Mike.
Okay.
Policy and Personnel, Dave?
No report.
Communications, Michelle?
No report.
Safety and Security, O'Brien?
No report.
Delegates to school boards, Karen?
I do have a report tonight. On Saturday, I had the privilege of chairing the legislative committee meeting. And there's been a lot of activity in Trenton over the past several months. We talked about a number of COVID-related enactments that have been approved by the legislature and signed by the governor, including bridge year pilot, student athlete physical, tax payment delay, etc. We spent some time talking about the new New Jersey Educators Health Plan, which goes into effect January 1st, 2020. It is anticipated to save the school community, the districts and teachers, close to $1 billion. So we hope those projections bear out. There was quite a bit of discussion about this year's budget. It'll be a nine-month budget. And as we all know, we lost some of our state aid to $300,000, unfortunately. We did receive $100 million from the federal government, and the governor has announced how he'll distribute that. I don't think we're going to be seeing too much of that. There was some concern about some activity by Betsy DeVos with regard to funding and enrollment for private schools, basing the funding on enrollment rather than Title I, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. And we will be receiving, the state of New Jersey will be receiving 2.5 million masks from the federal government. So we're thankful for that. It was a very good meeting, very informative. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Karen. Any questions? All right. Morris County School Boards Association, Mr. O'Brien?
The first meeting is the
Thursday, October 1st, the first meeting of the year.
Thank you. Educational Services Commission, Michael Rappaport.
Yep, we met last Wednesday, and they're getting prepped for their first day of school. And because it's the special ed school, they were able to get some grant money, and they are implemented two things which I thought were pretty interesting. One was a Casper system that they put into the air handling system, and it uses a combination of UV light, and it also adds a little hydrogen peroxide to the air to aid in the disinfectant process of the school. They also have some portable units as well in case they need that around the school. The other interesting thing is they were able to get a temperature kiosk where a student or a teacher or administrator can just walk up to the kiosk and it automatically takes your temperature and then tells you if you can proceed into the school or if you can't. Now, just going to remember that the MCSC school only has 26 students that are in person, so they could do things like that. Something in our school district with thousands of kids in in the 7 different schools. Obviously, we can't do that. But I thought those two things were very interesting that they are implementing, and we'll see how well they work in practice over the next couple of weeks. And the next meeting is in October.
Thank you very much, Mike. Drug awareness, Mr. Palmer?
No report.
Athletic boosters, Mr. O'Brien?
The athletic boosters Mustangs met on Wednesday, the 9th, first meeting of the year. And they financial reports, membership, fundraising ideas, and scholarships took up most of the meeting. But the initial topic was the meeting that was to occur on the next morning of the athletic directors. Now, I understand that there were some decision or recommendations or decisions made to the principals and to the superintendents that we'll hear more of at a later time as to what the composite of the fans at the football games may be, whether it's 200 and 300 and, visiting sides. And, we don't know, I don't know what transpired at the meeting, but I'm hoping to be informed later, okay, at a later date. Thank you.
Do we know anything that happened at that meeting, Renee?
There haven't been any final decisions made. The superintendents will be discussing that on Friday. We're trying to get some consistency across the county in terms of how that's going to be handled.
Great. I know you'll keep us informed.
Yes.
Okay. Any PTC liaisons? Public participation. This is the opportunity for any member of the public to ask questions or comment on any items on the agenda and the addendum that Renee wrote out about the various clubs and activities at the high school. Do we have any questions on the agenda items?
Let me just also indicate that if you've joined us and you're watching on YouTube, you need to follow the instructions at the bottom of the page to come over and join us in the Zoom webinar. If you're in the Zoom webinar and you would like to speak, if you would kindly raise your hand, and it's usually across the bottom, I can recognize folks. As Mr. Grau indicated, this particular point would be for questions regarding agenda items. I do not see any hands.
All right, we don't see any items on the agenda, all right. I would entertain a motion for the consent resolution and the addendum, please. A motion,
moved.
please.
So moved.
Second,
Second,
And Karen, okay? Any comments on the minutes of the September 1st meeting? J, no action. K, payment of bills, et cetera. Nothing on K2, K3. Facilities requests. K5, I think, is it 1920 school year or should that be 2021? I was just reading it over.
In the title of the resolution, yeah, it should be 2020, 2021.
So just change that to 2021, please. Any questions on the rest of K? L? I think also I'm a good proofreader. L4, the first four items under there, I think the yearbook advisors are for 9/1/20 to 6/30/21 for those four items, unless I have an old copy. Page 8, L4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Should it be 21?
Should be 21.
So if we just make those changes, no need to amend any agenda. Any other questions on L? M? Okay. Roll call, Mrs. Slunt?
Ms.
that
Zuckerman?
included the amendment, correct?
Yes, includes the addendum. Includes the addendum.
May I make a comment on the addendum?
Sure.
Just to say thank you for adding those back.
Okay. Roll call, Mrs. Slunt?
Ms. Zuckerman?
Yes to everything, abstain on K4, letter C.
Dr. Cordolino?
Yes,
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Mrs. Spano?
Yes.
Dr. Modrak?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
aye.
Mr. Rappaport?
Yes.
Mr. Palma?
Yes.
Mr. Grau?
Yes on everything except abstain on check 95881. Big transportation reimbursement for my daughter-in-law. Okay, any, section Q, any old business? Any new business? General board comments? And this last part, public participation, section S, the opportunity to speak up, ask any questions you may have regarding anything in the school system. I know that Renee gave instructions out. Anybody have their hand up, Renee?
Terry B?
Terry? Terry?
Are you muted? It looks like you're muted, Terry.
We'll
Hi
have to
there.
come back to Terry.
Oh, there you are.
I'm so sorry.
Hello,
I
hello,
apologize
Terry.
for that, and I thank you for the late night that it is for all of you. I wanted to ask if there is any plan to bring the high school students back more than the 342 minutes per day on a split schedule that they will be embarking on starting on September 21st.
At this time, we are looking to get a decent amount of time, and I'm not sure what that looks like, if that's several weeks or a couple of months of successful, healthy attendance in the buildings before we would consider moving on to phase 2, which would most likely be an expansion of the school day. So at this point, we did have a parent ask that question at the last meeting too. I just, at this point, cannot commit to when we might be ready to move into phase 2.
I understand that and I appreciate that. Is there a plan to engage students currently beyond the 342 minutes per day?
The afternoon component includes lab science instruction for those students that are registered in those courses. And then the additional time is also provided if teachers want to meet with students in small groups or one-on-one for additional help. All of that is possible during that afternoon time period. I will tell you.
Requiring that?
No, we're not going to require that. I will tell you, based on very unofficial surveys and discussions with students who are engaged in full day remote instruction, Zoom fatigue is real. And I don't know that it's healthy for any student to spend 8 hours in front of a screen. So we are not looking to have a full day of virtual instruction take place at this point.
I understand. So our kids will be educated at a 2/3 school day.
Well, I mean, that's your interpretation. I think that while the students are not engaging with their teachers for a full day, I think there are other opportunities for the learning to take place, whether it is, additional assignments that the teachers are providing, flipped classroom type of things where students are doing things on their own to prepare for classroom discussions. All of those things are possible, but to mandate, additional hours of screen time for students, I just do not believe that that is in their best interest.
Thank you. I appreciate the explanation.
Thank you, Terry.
I don't see any other hands at this time. Scott Riotto?
Good evening.
Scott?
Dr. Rovtar, Mr. Grau, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Scott Riotto, Roxbury resident, MTHS history teacher, MTA president. I'd like simply to say Lashana Tova to all those who will celebrate the Jewish New Year this weekend. I pray the new year of 5781 brings good things for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Anybody?
I don't see anyone else at this time.
Well, there's no other hands up. So at this point, the next meeting is October 6th. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Hello?
So moved.
Moved. Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yes.
Chris, again, congratulations. I see your picture up there.
Chris.
Yay!
Congratulations.
By having your picture up the whole meeting, that's worth at least, a gift from the board members, Have a good evening, everybody, and thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Aye.